I know it's been a while since I updated you guys on my surgical recovery. It's been a little over 2 years now, and I know when I left off, I was kind of in a tough spot, so I just wanted to give you guys an update as to where I am now. And I know some of you have been sending me messages and asking how my recovery is going, and I just wanted to, let you guys know where it stands now. So good news, I've recovered very, very well, and I know that when I left off, I was kind of struggling a little bit, and basically what ended up happening is, and I didn't want to, terrify anyone who might have been watching, but what ended up happening was I made a movement that made me think that I had reherniated my disc. I had an apple in my hand with peanut butter on it. Dumbest thing in the world. It basically flew out of my hand, and I was sitting on a reclining chair, and I kind of bent over to pick it up and was trying to get the peanut butter off the rug. So I was bent over for an extended period of time, and then I ended up sliding off the chair and kind of squatting down on the floor. And they say that when you reherniate a disc, you hear a pop and then you're in terrible pain. Well, I'm one of those people that just cracks everything all the time. So since I hadn't made that movement in quite a while, my back cracked and I was just instantly in pain. So I waited about 2 weeks before I called the doctor because I wanted to see if it, kind of calmed down, and it never did. And, I was just, I'm not going to lie, I'm just going to put it out there. I was every day in tears because I was oh my God, what did I do? I was absolutely kind of convinced that I had reherniated my disc. So I called the doctor, made an appointment, and I actually couldn't see the doctor till 2 weeks after that. So this is an entire month of me being in total agony and scared out of my mind. What I was told was to take 4 Advil every 4 hours and take Percocet. That's how much pain I was in. So I ended up going to the doctor and kind of going in expecting that I'd probably have another MRI done. And they were like, well, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to give you a steroid injection. And if that doesn't work, then we'll give you another MRI. And I really didn't put a lot of faith into this, this injection. I had 2 steroid injections before the surgery, and they didn't really do anything. But I went in there, and the doctor was great. And he was like, listen, if I really get this spot right, you're going to be in a lot of pain right now. But hopefully that means that I got it, and that, hopefully you should feel some relief after the injection. So it was very painful because he did get the right spot, and I felt relief almost instantly. And it did take a couple of days, but the inflammation certainly subsided. I was terrified because I know that because I had the MRI after the surgery, I knew that I had a slight disc protrusion, and I was just convinced that because I had made this really dumb movement, that it just sort of popped out. But thankfully it didn't. And I eventually recovered, and I can tell you now that it's been 2 years and 3 months after the surgery. And I do not have to take any pain medication on a regular basis. Every once in a while I'll pop 1 Advil or something, but I went from taking Percocet and Advil every 4 hours after the surgery to hardly needing to take any at all. And it took a really, really long time for that to happen, but it did. And I certainly consider the surgery a huge success. So that's really good news, and I just wanted to make this video to put it out there that even though it may take longer than you think it's going to take, there's still, hope that you will get better. And it may not be as quickly as you want it to be. I thought I was going to feel that way maybe 8 to 10 weeks after the surgery, and it took about a year and a half. So the reason I haven't really been updating is because I'm like so excited that I don't have to take this medicine anymore, and I'm like trying to, getting back to my life, and that it kind of goes back to, the whole idea that if it doesn't go well, then you're probably going to put something out there online, and you're going to be looking for answers and trying to figure out what went wrong. But I did want to take the time to, after putting those videos out there, to let you guys know that I did fully recover. And even after over 3 years of having a disc herniation, I did fully recover. And I actually had one of the best orthopedic/neurosurgeons in the country working on my surgery. So, I feel really confident that going forward, I'm still very, very careful with my movements. You always have to be aware, especially I think in my case, because I'm always aware of the fact that I still have that slight protrusion. So I'm very careful about how I move, even when I still, bend at the knees when I'm putting my shoes on, and I bend at the knees when I'm maybe like shaving in the shower. For women, I think that's a huge thing, and you really have to be careful. But I can move a lot more than I did in the past, and I think that's huge. I also think that your body is a little more resilient than you may think it is. So I'm still finding, even to this day, over 2 years later, that I'm still pushing it and trying to figure out, like, it's kind of like trial and error, figuring out like what you can do and what you can't do. And your body surprises you sometimes. Don't make any really dumb movements like I did by bending over like that. I was basically like this. And that was really, really stupid on my part. But, thankfully it was okay. But yeah, you really can, do probably a little bit more than you're thinking, because eventually it will heal, and you should be able to move in ways that you might not have expected. But of course, you never ever want to go against, what your doctor says you can do. So I just want to put that out there. I actually went to, and here's my thing. I guess a lot of you know from looking at some of my other videos that I had a pretty substantial weight loss in the past. And one of the main reasons I had the surgery was because I wanted to, get back to the gym and continue along that journey. And I find that when I don't exercise, I don't need to take medicine, and I don't irritate it. However, when I do exercise is when I find that I need to take medicine. So this has been quite frustrating for me, as you can imagine. And I actually went to to see the nurse practitioner in my surgeon's office. And I actually really like doing the elliptical. I find that it's a lot more exciting to do than walking. Can't really run. But, she said as long as I'm not like kind of bouncing up and down when I do it, it should be okay. It's much more of a fluid movement that I need to, keep up. And that swimming is probably the best thing. I actually joined a Y and started swimming. But even then, I really can't, there's a lot of twisting in like freestyle swimming. I find that whether I'm doing the elliptical or I'm swimming, I really can't work out any longer than a half an hour at a time. And while that's frustrating, at the same time, it's like, okay, at least I can do a half an hour. I'm hoping that eventually it'll get better. But it's just a kind of, figuring out how that works for me personally. She did say that I could take Advil if I wanted to. I'm very concerned about taking medicine on a regular basis because I was taking naproxen 24 hours a day for like 3 years to deal with my herniation pain. So I think that's something I'll probably need to like talk to the doctor about and get like regular checkups and things like that, because you never want to put your health in danger when it comes to that. But I found that, growing up playing sports, you're always told that if you go faster, that's better. And I'm finding that that's not necessarily the case if you're like on the elliptical, because you can always up the resistance, but you don't necessarily have to go faster, because when you go faster, you're bouncing up and down and making movements that are not, good for, your disc. So maybe if you increase the resistance and go a little bit slower, it's better. And I actually found that going faster doesn't always necessarily mean you're burning more calories, but when you do increase your resistance, that burns more calories. So it's kind of, knowledge is power. And I also found that stretching really, really helps a lot. I know it's like super boring, and if you're in this recovery process and you're sitting on the floor for like 40 minutes at a time and you're like, here I am again with my, my music, and I'm just like doing these stretches, and it's like I go like it makes me crazy because I just get really bored really easily. However, it is incredibly helpful. You have such a greater range of movement. You feel a lot less tweaks when you stretch. I will, go through the day and feel tweaks like here and there. And it's when I stretch, I just don't feel that. It's unreal to me how stretching can actually help you in that way. So that's really been one of the best things. And again, just taking care of yourself and eating the right things. And, I find when I don't take care of myself sometimes, I was just on vacation and I was just, basically not doing what I normally do as far as like eating and exercising. And like, I could feel it right away in my back. And, it's something that you just constantly need to be aware of. You constantly need to take care of yourself. You need to do the right things and be aware of your posture and things like that. But overall, I'm doing really well, and I'm really happy that I did it. It took so long, I felt like, but I can now get through the day without taking medicine and without being in pain, and that is, one of the reasons I did it. So I just wanted to give you guys an update and let you know how I was doing. I know a lot of you are going through this process, and whether you're a week out, 4 weeks out, 6 months out, a year out, I just want to say that I wish nothing but the best for you, and I hope that you make it through this process with your sanity intact, because it is not only physically taxing, it's also emotionally takes a lot out of you. So stay strong and keep fighting through it. And if you think that you need to talk to your doctor about something, I would definitely do it. I'm one of those people that kind of waits and waits and waits and waits before they talk to a doctor, clearly. But, for your own peace of mind, if you think that, you have a question that needs answering, I would be in contact with your surgeon or your doctor, and, just keep on keeping on. So good luck to you all, and thanks for watching.